In this video, we'll look at 20 collocations with the verb set. So grab a notebook and let's get started. Our first collocation is set the price, and this means to determine the value or cost of something and establish it as the selling price. Two example sentences are, the company decided to set the price of their new product at $50 per unit. And my other example says, the antique dealer was able to set a fair price for the rare watch. To set a record means to establish or achieve a new highest or best performance in a particular field or activity. This example says, the athlete set a new world record in the 100-meter race. The second sentence says, the company's sales team set a record for the most sales in a month. Here we have the collocation set rules, and this means to establish a set of guidelines or regulations to follow. My first example says, the company set strict rules for safety and security in the workplace. This next sentence says, the government set new rules to regulate the use of plastic bags in supermarkets. Our collocation set sail means to start a journey by boat or ship. This sentence says, the sailors set sail at dawn and arrived at the port in the evening. The next sentence says, the cruise ship set sail from Miami and headed to the Caribbean islands. Our collocation to set the table means to arrange the dishes, utensils, and other items on a table that are needed for a meal. This sentence says, the hostess set the table for the dinner party, and my next example says, the children helped their mother set the table for Thanksgiving dinner. This collocation to set a target means to establish a specific goal or objective to achieve. The company set a target of increasing their profits by 20% in the next fiscal year, and the teacher set a target of improving the students' reading skills by the end of the semester. To set the thermostat means to adjust the temperature of a heating or cooling system to the desired level. The homeowner set the thermostat to 68 degrees Fahrenheit to maintain a comfortable temperature in the house. This next sentence says, the hotel receptionist instructed the guest on how to set the thermostat in the room. Our next collocation to set an alarm is to program a device to emit a sound or signal at a specified time to remind them to wake up. I always set an alarm to make sure I wake up on time for work, and she set an alarm on her phone to remind her to take her medication. Similarly, to set a timer is to program a device to count down a specified amount of time and emit a sound or signal when the time is up. She set a timer for 30 minutes to remind her to take a break from studying, and he set a timer on the oven to make sure the cookies didn't burn. To set the date means to choose and confirm a specific day for an event or activity to take place. They set the date for their wedding for next summer, and she set the date for her book launch event and started sending out invitations. To set the time is to choose and confirm a specific time for an event or activity to take place. They set the time for their dinner party to start at 7 p.m., and she set the time for the conference call with her colleagues. This collocation, to set a fire or to set something on fire, means to cause something to start burning. Our first sentence says, he set a fire in the fireplace to warm up the room, and he accidentally set his sleeve on fire while cooking. Next up here, we have set foot, which means to enter a place or start a new experience. This first sentence says, she was excited to set foot in Paris for the first time, and he never thought he would set foot in a casino, but he was dragged there by his friends. Our next collocation, set free, means to release someone or something from captivity, confinement, or obligation. The prisoner was set free after serving his sentence, and she set free the bird that she had nursed back to health. To set a goal is to establish a specific objective to be achieved. She set a goal to run a marathon by the end of the year. And my next example sentence says, he set a goal to save more money every month. This collocation, to set a good example or set a bad example, is to behave in a way that others may imitate or avoid. These are either positive things to imitate or negative things to imitate. This first sentence says, She always tries to set a good example for her younger sister. My next sentence says, he set a bad example by cursing in front of his younger cousin. To set a limit means to establish a boundary or threshold beyond which something is not permitted or allowed. He set a limit on how much screen time his children could have each day, and they set a limit on how many people could attend the party. Our next collocation, to set a precedent, means to establish a standard or example that may serve as a guide or justification for future decisions or actions. The court's rulings set a precedent for future cases involving similar issues. This next sentence says, his success as an entrepreneur set a precedent for others. Next up, to set the tone is to establish the mood or attitude of a situation or event. The first few minutes of a speech can set the tone for the entire presentation, and the scowl on the manager's face set the tone for the serious meeting. The collocation set a trap has two definitions. The first is to set up a plan or device to catch someone in a wrongdoing or mistake. This sentence says the detective set a trap to catch the thief in the act. And my next definition is to lure someone into a difficult or dangerous situation. The scammer set a trap by sending emails with links to steal personal information. The collocation set a trend also has two definitions. The first is to start a fashion style or popular style. This example says the singer's unique style set a trend that quickly became popular. And our next definition is to create a new behavior or habit that becomes widely followed. The fitness influencer's workout routine set a trend among her followers. Thank you for watching. I hope at least one of these collocations were new to you. Try to use one the next time you're speaking with someone in English or down below in the comments. See you in the future.